you've ever felt like you're doing all the things right, you're eating healthier, you're trying to be consistent, squeezing in workouts, but your energy is still low. Your body isn't responding and it feels harder than it should. This episode is for you. Here's the truth people don't talk about. It's not that you don't know how to eat. It's not necessarily that you're eating unhealthy. It's that your nutrition hasn't been aligned to your schedule. Today, we're talking about why shift happens. You heard it, shift happens. So in our schedule, shifts happen. Shift happens in our hormones, in our metabolism. And this is why your nutrition needs to shift. In this episode, we are going to dive into the exact framework that I use inside my 12-week nutrition reset program. I'll walk you through the core pillars, why they matter, how they actually impact your health, and I'll give you some simple things that you can start doing right away. This is not a quote unquote diet. This is a lifestyle change. This is real science. This is real life application, and this is going to give you sustainable results. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about why a nutrition reset is necessary. Most women don't need a meal plan. They need a reset. When life gets busy, i.e. shift work, kids, career, stress, nutrition becomes reactive. Meals get skipped. Coffee replaces food. Protein drops, and our body's stress continues to rise. So from a physiologic standpoint, our body cannot distinguish between emotional stress, sleep deprivation, undereating, or overtraining. It just all gets interpreted as stress, as peace. When the body senses a threat, the nervous system shifts into survival mode. We go into sympathetic fight or flight. Resources are diverted away from digestion. They're diverted away from hormone production and fat loss, and they go towards keeping you alive. That's why white knuckling through nutrition stops working. Body actually adapts. The body's goal is to not make you the healthiest. Your body's goal is to not make you the fittest. Your body's goal is not to make you look the best. Your body's goal is survival. That is its number one goal. It will shift and it will adapt. So why this reset matters, that's it, right? We need to reset our body. We need to help it adapt in a better beneficial pattern that will actually support our energy, that will support our long-term health and fitness goals. Well, means gives us enough time to calm the nervous system. It gives us time to stabilize inputs, and it gives us time to allow our body to build trust. If we can develop a routine, if we're eating in a pattern that supports our actual schedules, if we're eating in a pattern that supports our hormones, it's going to tell our body it's safe and it's not going to fight us. It's going to stop being wired into this survival mode. Does that make sense? So that is why with the 12-week nutrition reset, shift happens, eat for it program, I deliver this over the course of 12 weeks. This cannot be done in a couple of weeks. This takes time for our body to respond, adjust, and become aligned. So one small reset you can actually start and implement today. I want you to eat within an hour of waking. This will allow cortisol levels to stabilize instead of thinking we're in hunger mode. Let's shoot that cortisol through the roof to increase glucose so we can stay alive. But if we can tell our body, no worries, we're okay, we're getting nutrition, we're getting calories, then it will help stabilize those hormones. So even a simple protein forward breakfast is going to tell your body it's safe. I want you to start your day with a breakfast and make sure you've got at least 30 plus grams of protein. Moving on to metabolism. We've talked about how it's adaptive. I hear a lot of women talk about like metabolism's broken. They have this like misconception, like, it's messed up, I'm doomed. The thing is metabolism is adaptive. It can respond in a positive way that's going to help us towards our goals, or it can respond in a negative way to where its goal is just to keep us alive, not supporting energy hormones or body composition. Metabolism is really just how our body utilizes energy. Do we want our body utilizing energy to build muscle? Do we want our body to utilize energy powering through us through the day? Or do we want our body utilizing energy for our bare survival mechanisms? Do we want our body storing body fat for later if needed because it thinks that we're going to starve ourselves and that we're going to miss meals and that we're only relying on caffeine? So when calorie intake stays low for a long period of time, and our body adapts to that, especially with protein and carbohydrate intake being low, the body will compensate. The thyroid signaling slows down, non essential movement drops, and hunger hormones actually increase. Your cortisol is going to increase. So it's silly, right? You feel like I'm eating less so that I can lose some weight. But then at the end of the day, your body system backfires. It starts holding onto fat. It makes you hungrier. So you want to eat more. And it spikes your cortisol, which is spiking your sugar, which is spiking your insulin, which is signaling your body to store fat. So under eating for long periods of time is not the goal. The goal is to fuel your body and let your body know it's safe, that you are giving it what it needs. When your body responds in that fashion, it is your body trying to keep you alive because what it perceives is a famine plus stress type of environment. Inside the nutrition reset, we're going to focus on restoring that metabolic trust through consistent fueling, adequate protein, and realistic intake. So fat loss becomes a byproduct of your actions and how you're eating, not a fight against your body. Here's a step you can implement. If you've been under eating, I urge you, I beg you, do not slash those calories any further. Start by adding 20 to 30 grams of protein per day and eat it consistently. That's not 20 to 30 grams of protein overall. That means adding in addition to what you already eat. Eat that consistently and see how your body doesn't respond. Quick break in the episode. So a big favor I ask is that if you find this content valuable, if I have given you some insight into improved nutrition, improved mindset, improved health overall, I ask that you go ahead and subscribe to this podcast, like the episodes you like, share what you think friends and family could benefit from as well. And together we can reach more people, spread more information about health and fitness, and help to change what it means to be healthy and fit as a busy working mom. All right. Segment 3, we're going to dive into blood sugar balance. And this truly is the energy piece that it's all about. If you feel energized briefly after eating, and then you have that crash, you have that midday slump, that's your blood sugar going up. I feel good. Then that's your blood sugar diving back down. And that's where you have that crash. That's where you're struggling to get through your day. And you're having more caffeine to compensate. Blood sugar is regulated by insulin, cortisol, and your nervous system. So when you skip meals, starting the day with coffee only, eating carb-heavy meals without protein, this causes rapid spikes and crashes. And then those crashes trigger your cortisol, which leads to irritability, anxiety, cravings, and fatigue. One of my clients is an ER nurse, and that was one of the first things she noted once I had her fueling herself. Like, listen, girl, what you do is so important. You take care of other people. It is literally life or death. I need your brain functioning. I need you energized. I need you to pack your meals. Like, we're not waiting till we get a long break. We're not ordering from DoorDash. I need you to pack something. It doesn't have to be fancy, but you pack that fuel. It needs to be balanced. Within a couple of weeks, she was like, I enjoy my job a lot better. I'm not irritable. I think my coworkers like you better. She wasn't having a hangry crash, irritability, and mental fog. She was on it. And it allowed her to actually enjoy her job a lot better as well. So stabilizing blood sugar is one of the fastest ways to improve your energy, mood, and appetite regulations. At your next meal, build your plate in this order. Start with your protein. Eat your protein first. Second, eat your fibers. That's your fibrous fruits and veggies. Lastly, eat the carbohydrates. That alone, just eating in that order, will help improve your glucose control. All right. Next, we're going to move into protein, fiber, and micronutrition. It's about more than just macros. I've had folks come into my program who they've worked with another coach that it's just about workouts and macros, and super important. It is very important, right? And they are able to achieve some body composition change, but they're plateauing. They're still not feeling great. They're still not energized. They still have some gut health issues. The hormones are still a little bit wonky. And it's because the underlying micronutrition was never addressed. Gut health, hormone health, inflammation, none of those things were ever addressed. This is where quality of what goes into your body matters. Timing also matters. It's not just about macros. Protein, let's start there. Very important. But it's not just for muscle. It supports satiety. That's like your full feeling. It supports blood sugar stability, improves metabolic signaling, and it helps with hormone production. Next, fiber. Why is this important? Fiber feeds the good bacteria in our gut. These will then produce short chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity. This leads to increased long term health, decreases risk for cardiovascular disease, decreases pain and fatigue, and allows your body to be able to actually burn fat. And then micronutrients. Some of them, I mean, there's tons of them out there, but some of the more important ones that I really want to focus on are magnesium, iron, and B vitamins. These are often depleted in busy women, stressed women, and women who frequently show up as fatigued. They're just already starting their day tired. This could be, hey, kids are sick, they were up late, a routine is thrown off. That happens. But when it's a persistent chronic thing, it's because they're not getting the micronutrients. Maybe they're not getting a good ratio of the macronutrients, and likely they're underhydrated. Inside this program, I really want to stress we're not trying to be perfect here. Life does get crazy, schedules get busy, but if we can focus on nutrient density and consistency of fueling ourselves, you are going to achieve huge changes. Okay, so what I want you to do here, I want you to aim for protein at every single meal. And remember, we want to eat our protein first. Then make sure you're adding at least 2 different sources of fiber every day. Probably more, but at least 2 sources. This can be some fruits. This can be some veggies. You want to try to get as much color as you can. And then also whole grains. Complex carbohydrates, those whole grains are going to provide us some good source of fiber as well. All right, let's dive into gut health. This is where absorption over intake is really important. You could be eating as healthy as a champ, but if your gut's inflamed, if you have leaky gut and you're not absorbing the nutrients, it's not going to make a ton of difference. You can eat healthy and still feel terrible if your digestion isn't working. When we are under stress, digestion is one of the first systems to downregulate. Remember, we're stressed. We go into a sympathetic fight or flight. We move away from diverting blood to the digestive. This is also going to lead to decreased stomach acid, slow gut motility, increased intestinal permeability. What this means is, and in our gut, we should have really tight junctions, right? As we develop inflammation, these guys start loosening up. And now you have these holes and cracks and barriers. And some of these larger proteins are able to leak into the bloodstream and things we don't want in the bloodstream, which then down the line cause more inflammation. It causes a systemic immune response. And we get this inflammation. It can lead to chronic pain, chronic fatigue, increased illnesses. This is huge. The gut is always playing a major role, right? It is important in digestion, overall health. It is important in your body's ability to burn fat. It is important in your body's ability to feel good, happy. Or additionally, believe it or not, your gut plays a pretty big role in estrogen metabolism, which is why digestive issues often show up as hormonal symptoms. Also, our gut is where a large majority of our serotonin or happy hormone is built. So somebody who suffers from depression or anxiety, yes, there are plenty of other factors that play a role in that. gut health can also play a role in that. If our gut doesn't have the good bacteria, we may not have as much of that happy hormone and we just don't feel like ourselves anymore. So, absolutely 100% gut health is important to support this, to help ensure you're getting blood flow to the digestive tract. Make sure that you slow down when you're eating. Actually, sit down. How many of you out there notice like you're busy during your day and you're eating? You don't take time to sit down because you are so freaking busy or you are trying to multitask. Does anybody? Yes, raise your hand, put it in the comments like all the time, Sarah. Yep, always stand it up. I never have time to sit down. Drop it in the comments. Let me know. I notice this a lot, especially if we're trying to whip up a quick supper and get out the door for sports. The children are seated at the buffet and I'm just standing on the other side, eating really quick while I'm getting their drink or whatever else they need, prepping them like, okay, when you finish eating, I need you to get your bag together. We got to get a water bottle. We got to get going. And I don't even realize I'm doing it always. I need myself to take the time to say, girlfriend, sit down, couple big breaths, reset that parasympathetic rest and digest system, get blood flow to the digestive tract, increase the production of those digestive enzymes so we can actually break down that food and use nutrients. Even 5 calm minutes before eating is going to help improve your digestive enzyme release. Okay, next, let's talk a bit about stress, cortisol, and our hormonal load. Cortisol is not bad, y'all. Cortisol is imperative. It is essential for life. But when cortisol is chronically elevated, we have an issue. It starts to compete with progesterone. It's going to alter our thyroid hormone conversion, and it's going to cause a raise in our blood sugar. This is why fat loss stalls, even when nutrition can kind of look perfect on paper. This is where, that cortisol is chronically elevated. There's chronically stress overload. There's chronically inflammation overload. And the body prioritizes survival over aesthetics every time. Inside the nutrition reset, nutrition is matched to your stress load, not fighting against it. So, what I would like you to do, here's another starter tip. I want you to pair carbohydrates with your protein at lunch. Then you can do a light pairing at dinner. I don't want you having a large carbohydrate load in the evening, right? We're not moving as much. We don't want to store it as body fat. But if we've got a good pairing of some complex carbohydrates, some whole grains, or it can be fibrous fruits and veggies, if we pair that with our protein at dinner time, this is actually going to help blunt the nighttime cortisol. It's going to improve your sleep. And when we improve our sleep, everything improves, right? It helps to improve inflammation, it helps with DNA repair, it helps with muscle recovery, all of those things. All right, now let's talk about consistency. Most that I know, yes, you're going to learn a ton as we go through this program, but most folks do not fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they try to do everything perfectly, and it's just not realistic. I don't even do everything perfectly every day. And I'm like a health and fitness total nerd. I just geek out on this stuff. But if you have that expectation for yourself, you're going to have a day that you fluff it up, right? And then you're going to get in your head and think, oh, I can't do this. So don't set yourself up for failure. Don't set yourself up for perfection expectation because it's not real and it's not going to happen. Your nervous system is pattern based. If you've got erratic meals, extreme workouts, and inconsistent sleep, your nervous system is on high alert. But if we develop consistency, this creates a safe environment and allows our nervous system patterns to change. This is why we use bare minimum anchors inside the program. And again, so this isn't doing everything perfect every day. Unrealistic. What are my bare minimums that I can stick to even on my busiest day, on my worst day? What are my bare minimums? And so that might be having a protein-centric breakfast, plenty of fiber, colorful fruits and veggies. That might be making sure I got good rest the night before a busy or stressful workday. That might be taking a minute to take a few deep breaths before you sit down and enjoy your meal. Whatever those anchors are, start with 1 or 2. Build it until it becomes natural and normal for you. as it feels good, as it's routine. Now add 1 to 2 more. And those are going to be what your body, your metabolism, and your nervous system rely on every day, even when the rest of your day goes haywire. This is how we reset our metabolism. Pick one anchor this week, whether that's protein at breakfast, consistent meal timing, or a daily walk. One is enough to start. Pop it in the comments. Which one are you instituting this week? Let's talk a bit more about who this program is for. When I say this program, I'm not talking about my traditional one-on-one Fit Mom Bod coaching. I am talking about the 12-week nutrition reset. Shift happens, eat for it. This program is for folks who they're busy, stressed, they're tired of spinning their wheels. They feel like they're getting nowhere. This is for somebody who wants to build structure around nutrition to fit their busy, chaotic schedules. This program does not require tracking. This program does not require perfection, right? We're making some tweaks as we go along and learn a little bit more 1 week at a time. We institute and build on that. So women who want education, flexibility, and sustainability in their nutrition, this is for you. If listening is felt relieving, like there's hope, I can make some change. Oh my God, I can do this. Instead of making you feel more overwhelmed, you're exactly who this program is built for. My goal with this episode wasn't to give you everything. It was to give you clarity. Clarity that simple changes can make huge differences in your life, that you do have the ability to reset your nervous system and you have the ability to reset your metabolism. If these concepts were exciting to you, I'll have next steps in the description. And this doesn't have to mean like, hey, I'm in, let's do this, Sarah. There are other ways that you can start initiating these changes into your lifestyle, really supporting your body. If you decide to dive into the full on program, it is going to walk you through this process step by step with support, structure, and real life application. You can find more information or enrollment details in the description, whether you join or not. I hope that you take one small step this week to support your body instead of battling against it. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.